welcome to Medical Dialogues. I am Dr. Nandita Mohan, and we have with us today Dr. Achal Gulati, who is the President and Vice Chancellor of the Mahatma Gandhi University of Medical Sciences and Technology in Jaipur, Rajasthan. With over 35 years of experience as a renowned otorhinolaryngologist, he has served in various leadership roles, including Additional Director General of Health Services for the Government of India and President of the National Medical Commission's Ethics and Medical Registration Board. So thank you for being a part of this Medical Research Summit and BlackBuck Award, sir. It's a privilege to be having you here with us today.
It's a pleasure, Nandita. Pleasure to be here.
Great. So, sir, we're talking about medical research, and we know that it's the budding aspect that one has to get into, and younger generation definitely needs to be pushed forward. So, is there any message that you would want to give out?
See, actually, unfortunately, research in our country is there. Very good research is there. But, when I was doing my post-graduation, a sentence was created by the chief guest that in our country we are doing researching what has been searched many times before. So, that's not a bad idea, provided we are doing it in the correct manner. So, ethical research is something which is a must, and it must be done in true sense, because that is what is going to make or break the research. Copying, pasting from here and there, copying ideas from here and there is perfectly fine, okay, for a small thesis topic. But when I talk about good whole-time research, I think we need to look into it, into good ethical practices while doing the research.
So definitely there has to be an integration between clinical practice and research, so they go hand in hand together. So yes.
Integration and integrity both.
Yes, that's the highlight, integration as well as integrity both. So is there any message that you would want to give out to the younger generation so that more and more get into medical research and healthcare definitely improves in the coming years?
See, when I talk about medical education, I need to train my students and residents into two aspects. Number one, medical education, the medical part itself, and research. So if I have a good ratio of 70-30, something like, looking at 70 in medical education, take my time on that, 30 for my time for research, and then combine both the things, even as a faculty member, because I need to look at my faculty members also. There's no point in talking about train the trainee. I need to train the trainer first for research. So that is why the National Medical Commission has brought in a few things, which are that you must partake a course in the biomedical ethics. That's a mandatory thing before you can appear. You also need to do a course in basic the medical education technology. That also becomes a must. So when I train the trainer first, only then I'll be able to bring the trainee out. Remember, there's a GIGO principle: garbage in, garbage out. I feed in garbage, the computer will spew out garbage. So if my faculty needs to be trained so that they can bring out something as a resident who's not as garbage.
That's actually a very good thought, sir. That principle mantra is definitely, I think, goes a long way. So lastly, if I may ask you, how can teaching institutions promote medical research? Is there any key factor or anything that they should carry out on a daily basis, or academically, if they could incorporate any structurally program that could help your medical research?
If I look at our Prime Minister's vision of Make in India, Make for India, Make for the world. So if I take that mantra and the Viksit Bharat mantra and the period what we are going through, I think we need to see it that our research institutions, the medical institutions, come in the forefront for institutions. Having said that, no research is possible unless I have funding. So the funding has to be brought in either from the government sector or the private sector or the corporate sector. So a marriage of all three needs to be done before I can bring in good ethical research. Now, once I have that in place, then I need to encourage a sense of ethicality into my students so that it becomes more lucrative as a profession for them. There's no point in just keeping on teaching them and then not giving them a lucrative offer at the end of the day. Then the ease of doing transactions, which again is a vision of our Prime Minister, the ease of transaction, the ease of doing work, the ease of doing research, that also has to be brought in. There's no point in having an ethics committee, institutional ethics committee, if that committee doesn't meet. So the committee needs to meet more often, the scientific committee needs to more often, the people on the committees need to know what they're talking about, and only then they can encourage good ethical research to come across. And I think for that, the medical colleges, the medical institutions need to take a key role and a key progress in that. So they're going to play a very important role as far as this is concerned.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of the Medical Research Summit. Medical Dialogues is privileged to be having you here with us today and being a part and highlighting young research and like heavy minds like yourself. We definitely need more and more such mentors to help us drive into medical research.
It was a pleasure being over here. as a Vice Chancellor of a university, as a former Administrator of the Government of India, as a former President of the National Medical Commission. I think I have married to all these three things, and as currently as the Vice Chancellor, my university is open for any type of propositions for the research activities. I'll again quote the Delhi police quotation over there, with you, for you, always. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and being a part of this summit.